What's up, everybody? Scott and Austin here with a special recap of some of our recent pickups. Since we live apart during the school term, the hunt never ends. So we're going to show you some of the awesome stuff we've picked up recently.
Yeah, I always enjoy watching pickup videos online, so we both thought it would be pretty cool to document the stuff we got off camera.
Heck yeah. So these will be over December and January. I'm going to let my boy here lead off.
Alright, so in December, they had just announced for the Smash Bros. Game, the Wii U, that Bayonetta was going to be a new character. So as soon as I heard that, I knew this game was going to be hard to find, because I'd been waiting a long time for this to go down in price, but it never did. So I ended up just getting it, and it was worth it because I got this 2 days after they announced it, and then after that, I never saw them again in stores. Until they just did the re-release. It doesn't have the bonus disc. As you can see, it's upper left-hand corner. My left, your right. Bonus sticker.
Very sneaky.
And I am collecting for the N64. My goal is to one day have it all complete in box. So slowly, one game at a time. Just been trying to knock a few off the list. Mortal Kombat 4. I tried it out. I might have played it with you.
I haven't played it, no.
But the controls were kind of hard for me, but it was still kind of fun. We're thinking about playing it later on in this year, and this game was so worth it. This is so much fun. Resident Evil 2 on the N64. I had so much fun with it. I brought it over to your house.
Is that the one we played?
Yes, and
I'm so bad at it.
You didn't give it a good enough try. Like, the controls are really hard to get into.
They're inverted, so you gotta go up to move down and camera angles and stuff. Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't play it enough, but
it's a great survival horror game on the N64. They ported it over from the PlayStation. It is the biggest game on the N64, I think. Just a fun fact.
That's one thing I remember seeing a lot in Nintendo Power when I used to be subscribed, both for 64 and GameCube, were the Resident Evil games. But they looked way too scary for me back then, so waited until now to try it.
There were even some points when I kind of did get a jump scare or two playing through this, which
that's good.
And 64, good for you. Also in December, I got Xenoblade Chronicles X Special Edition. This game is really fun, and the Special Edition is great. It has a booklet. It has this thumb drive that has some tunes from the game in it, and the tunes are pretty catchy. It's one of the only RPGs on the system. I know they're making a Fire Emblem cross Persona 1 that should be coming out soon on the Wii U. Just not really my thing. I wish it would have been like pure Fire Emblem. We both been loving the 3DS
Fates, yeah. And Xenoblade also is the only new 3DS game, right?
Yes. On to my favorite stuff. These are both in January. So I'll start out with this one. I recently played through Ogre Battle on the Nintendo 64, and I loved it so much. It was so much fun. So if you're on the lookout for an RPG for the 64, play Ogre Battle. It's hard to come by though. But anyways, I got Tactics Ogre on the Game Boy Advance. I still haven't gotten around to trying it yet, but I've looked at some videos online. It looks really fun. Gorgeous box. I love the box art.
Oh yeah.
And this is the biggest purchase I've ever done.
Had to drop a few bills.
Yeah, since I've been collecting. So if you watched our Mission Nostalgia videos, we kind of hinted at it in the first one. So that would be Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen. Got a complete in box. Gorgeous. Love that box art. It's so cool. I'm gonna play it really soon. I've been busy with school, so I'm getting around to it. But from what I understand, it's really similar to the 64 one, which again, I love that game.
Awesome. Well, moving on to my stuff, December and January was really special for me for two reasons. One was I took a trip to Arizona with my family, Arizona and Las Vegas, and two, it really was the start of my retro collection. So beyond the 64.
For the longest time, I was just into this hobby by myself. was like, Scott wouldn't be into it.
Yeah.
Slowly, I was reeling him in.
I've always loved the N64, and I used to have an NES when I was like 4 years old, but my mom got rid of it when we got the N64. So yeah, he wrote me in. He did a solid job of that. And since I was on this trip, I was exposed to so many different stores that I'm not here in Michigan. So anyways, getting into the pickups. The first one, which is kind of obvious, the one you need to start with, is I got an NES, of course, with all the cords, and it came with a controller that was in pretty standard condition. It works, buttons aren't sticky, and this was at Retro City Games in Las Vegas, and the guy who worked there was really, really nice. He showed me around the store personally, and he gave me a pretty good deal, $40 for the system and the controller, working condition. The pins I replaced myself, but I was really happy with that to just kind of jumpstart the collection.
I was jealous of his trip. He sent me some pictures. You should insert those.
Yeah, I still have those. So one thing, which I'll put the picture up right here, was a Nintendo 64 kiosk where you could just walk in and play Super Smash Bros. My brother and I played a game. So really just interesting stuff, and I'll keep the pictures flowing here for a little bit. But moving on to my other pickups, at the same store, Retro City Games, I got Super Mario Bros. 3, and this is one of the games I had when I was 4 years old, so I really wanted to get again, and my mom actually bought it for me as like a Christmas present, so that was pretty awesome of her. And
you guilt trip her into getting it since she gave it away.
She kind of guilt tripped herself because she feels really bad about getting rid of that, especially since I had Mega Man 6, which is a pretty rare game now, but that was kind of a truce. The truce has been up now. So my last pickup from a different store, it was called We Play Games. They spelled Wii like the Nintendo Wii. And I got Dr. Mario Complete in Box for $15. I could have got just the game for $8, but I was glad to pay the extra $7 for the box, and it had a box protector on it. And not my favorite game for sure, just kind of, a time killer puzzle game.
Fun to pick up and put down.
But I was happy with that. That was another NES box, and I'm gonna kind of hint at a little shout out to Austin, which was Star Tropics Complete in Box. He gave me this last summer before I had the NES, and that kind of planted the seed.
This was all part of me trying to get him into the hobby.
That was
like, oh, hey, dude, check this out.
Because I guess I should mention, that was my favorite game as a kid when I had the Nintendo.
You'd been talking to me about that for a while, and then I knew he wouldn't get it because he wasn't quite into it yet, so I was like, yeah, okay, if I want to get him hooked, I need to jump on this and get it, because I got it for a really good price. So then I was like, oh, here, it's for your birthday. But I was planning all along to plant the seed, get him into collecting.
And it worked. It definitely worked. One more pickup for me in January, which was my first eBay NES pickup, which is Balloon Fight, which has been one of my favorite games for the NES. Besides Super Mario and Star Tropics, probably Balloon Fight has been my favorite one. And I'm about to post my high score right here of Balloon Trip, so let me know if you beat that or not. But really fun game, and I got that for, I believe, $16. I think that was it.
Not bad.
So not a bad deal. Really, all these, I'm pretty happy with the prices I paid compared to everything else in Las Vegas. It was a great deal. So these are just kind of a few of our pickups on the side here. For me, these are my kind of starting the collection pickups from the ground up. So these, when I look back, are going to be kind of some of my more special memories of pickups.
And so we're just going to keep trying to do every 2 months, do some of these outside of Mission Nostalgia pickups. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said at the beginning, since we don't always live by each other, the hunt still goes on, and we gotta keep those flowing. So we will try and keep as updated as possible and keep scouting out the deals, always as ever.
So true.
Bye. Should I do the signing off thing?
If you want.